As a parent, our biggest fear is losing our child or our children. And to lose a child is unimaginable. My heart is really broken for everybody involved.
Two Michigan parents will spend at least a decade in prison after a deadly school shooting carried out by their son. James and Jennifer Crumbley are the first parents of a mass school shooter in the U.S. to be charged, then convicted.
Their son Ethan was just 15 years old when he pulled out a gun at school in 2021, killing 4 people and injuring 7 others. Prosecutors presented evidence that an unsecured gun at home and the parents' indifference toward their son's mental health led to the incident and that deadly shooting.
Queen City News Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes joins us now. And Khalif, could this sentencing here set a precedent for anything going forward in cases like this?
I think it's a mixed bag answer. I'd say probably not. This was the perfect storm of the worst case scenario. You're talking about a person with mental health issues, parents that were reluctant to do anything. Earlier that day, they went to the school and talked to him, decided to let him stay there. And so because of that kind of timing and all the things that happened surrounding that, I don't think this is something that would change the landscape of how we prosecute cases. But I will say that it allows prosecutors to become, creative with their approach. Sandy Hook, no one was prosecuted. The mother probably could have been prosecuted, but she was fatally wounded. He killed her. She had similar situation to this fact. But other than that, I don't see something like that happening and changing landscape. Typically, you'll see folks going after now social media companies, and you'll see folks going after the manufacturer. Sandy Hook again, Remington. They sued Remington, got a massive lawsuit after that. I think that's the direction where folks are going. But prosecuting parents, I think, is going to have to be a number of facts that line up, and this one was a perfect situation for the prosecutor.
I have to be able to talk about the impact statements that we heard from the victims, and also you just heard they're trying to be able to not have jail time and avoid jail time was James Crumbley, giving a very different look of what we saw during the sentencing part than what we saw during the trial. But the impact statements from the victims, I think, were so emotional. I remember one parent, I'm paraphrasing here, they said, look, while you were trying to find a gun, I was trying to find my child. How big of an impact did that make with the sentencing?
As someone that has sat in court and listened to this, I represent homicide defendants on a regular basis, and I've listened to these impact statements where you have to listen to a parent talk about the loss of a child. It's the hardest thing to hear. And so while I do think the judge took into account that their statements, I think the judge already knows the sentencing range in Michigan. That manslaughter charge carries a no more than 15 years. The prosecutor wanted her to go above that range. The defense attorney wanted her to go below that range, and the judge went somewhere in between at 10 to 15 years. I think the victim impact statement does play a count. And I think the father's testimony, his statement was remorseful, unlike during the trial where it did seem like he did not show any remorse. So I think that did have an impact, both the parents and the individual statement. And I can say that courtroom, I sat there. I started my legal career right there in Oakland County, my first 2 years of practice. So I intimately familiar with that courtroom. I've heard the testimony of parents in that courtroom crying. It is a real tight, echoey, dark room, and so the whole atmosphere was gloomy, so you can say it definitely had an impact.
Yeah, and it's a trial that many people across the nation have watched. Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes, thanks for breaking it down for us.